Get off the boat, servants only! The rich heir shouted right in my face, his voice dripping with that entitled smirk he'd perfected over years of never hearing no. I stepped back onto the dock without a word. He untied the thick mooring lines himself, laughing as the rope splashed into the creek. "Goodbye," he yelled, waving like he owned the entire harbor. I reached into my pocket, pulled out the small black key fob, and pressed the single red button. The twin engines of the yacht cut out instantly. The deep rumble died to silence. The churning white water at the stern flattened. The music blasting from the deck speakers stopped mid-beat. Every light on the vessel went dark, and the automatic glass doors froze halfway open. The yacht drifted sideways in the shallow creek, a 40-foot dead weight bobbing helplessly 20 yards from shore. Guests screamed as the air conditioning shut down, and the midday South Carolina heat flooded the cabins. Phones came out, cameras flashed from the dock, and the panic spread fast. He ran to the rail, face red, scanning the crowd on the pier until his eyes locked on me. I held the fob up high enough for him to see. Actually, I called across the water, my voice calm and clear over the sudden quiet. "I'm the owner," and I just shut it all down remotely. His mouth opened, closed, opened again. No sound. Then, in full view of the investors, the press, and every phone recording, he kicked off his loafers, climbed the rail, and jumped into the creek. He swam the short distance back, water up to his chest most of the way, emerging soaked hair plastered to his forehead, shirt clinging to him as he stumbled onto the dock. Cameras clicked nonstop. "My name is Shelby Whitaker. I'm 48. I designed every smart system in that villa and the yacht docked behind it. I own them both." And that moment on the dock was the end of a very long game. If you love watching spoiled rich heirs finally learn the hard way that money doesn't buy control, especially when they mess with the wrong person, hit that subscribe button right now. It fuels the quiet satisfaction I still feel every time I think about that day. Stay till the end. You'll see exactly how far the consequences went and why some lessons only hit when the engines go dead and you're left swimming back alone. 3 days earlier, the salt air of Hilton Head hung thick with humidity even at 8 in the morning as I knelt by the private dock of Sea Whisper Villa, running diagnostics on the yacht's port thruster through my tablet. My company, Whitaker Realty Tech, had wired every smart circuit in this 5-acre gated compound, from the infinity pool pumps to the creek-docked yacht's engine controls, and the villa's remote override protocols for doors, AC, and generators. A 0.4% lag in the yacht's response time could mean a docking glitch, turning into a multi-million liability in low-country real estate. I was the engineer who coded Sea Whisper's nervous system, wearing faded khaki work shorts from Charleston shipyard installs and a baseball cap frayed from coastal storms. Ponytail greasy smudge on cheek from panel access. Outsiders saw maintenance crew. Insiders knew I locked the gates. Heavy footsteps thudded on the wooden dock. A voice slick with inherited cash boomed. "Damn, this creek reeks of marsh mud and cheap labor." Trevor Harlan, the 28-year-old golden boy son of Warren Pritchard, whose family fund held minority stake in Whitaker, strode up, sunglasses bloodshot from bar crawls, mimosa half empty at 8:30. Froze at me by hatch tablet glowing, eyes on work clothes, grease mark not face. "Hey," barked, snapping fingers twice like a dog. "You servant whatever." Kept typing, sensor calibration, green confirm flashed, stood slow straight. "Can I help you, Trevor?" Jaw slackened, no clue who. Set dressing in his empire game. "Oh, know my name, good." Cleaning crew out by 8. Investors noon brunch. Deck shines fetch beach towel, humidity dripping like rookie golfer. Flung damp sandy towel from rail at chest, slapped soft boots. Bent picked folded tucked arm. Understood voice, flat creek water. Wrap checks clear out. "Yeah, do," snapped off, turning to trailing woman, bottle blonde, too tight sundress. Kendra, his stepmother, giggling, sighed. Excusing tone dropped, boardroom edge, spines straighten. Deaf sneered, closing champagne breath space. Servants only dock. Adults. Business swept arm villa poured foundation. Prime beachfront baby not janitor lounge. Pulse even sharp focus debugging hacked feed. Opportunity. Believed sea whisper birthright. Warren handled leases Trevor event planner off deals. No org chart tech brief. Work gear brain made. Yanked access flashed deed dialed Warren. Fast clean. Teach sticking. Got it neutral mask. Finish dockside vanish. Perfect snorted back snapped selfie palm horizon. No scuff imported teak Italian costs your truck. Headed SUV practical Tacoma Beamer's row slipped tablet arm. Past stern gate security hub tapped hidden sequence no user menus. Ghost log audio video cameras sensors, private partition. Physically leaving digitally core. Nice babe. Kendra cooed gravel lot. Warren handed gem. Run Island. Paused car door back gleaming yacht Jarvis Creek secure. Commanded elite docks. Owned outright. Insult remote holder ends 1. Slid seat laptop live salon feed. Trevor sloshing mimosa cream leather banquettes bragged. Purple spreading fast. Setup begin. Trevor pace villa control room phone speaker Kendra. Dad clueless. Shelby legacy junk. Redundant gates who needs. Flash AI locks voice pivot. Closer. Pivot clueless flip. Pushing out board adores gala demo flash plan. Safety obsessions bleed 15 margins obsolete. Fingers poised. Coup. Villa gala sell future. Admin lock black lights bolt doors. Pump polka surrender. Reactive. Calculated. Demo glory. Unforgettable. Terminal open coding stage. Captain Creek dead. Before override plug. To grasp how deep Trevor dug his own pit, you need the lease. Fine print. 6 months earlier, in a glass-walled conference room overlooking the May River in Bluffton, I sat across from Warren Pritchard, the 62-year-old patriarch of the Pritchard Family Fund. He looked every bit the old money shark who had built a fortune flipping low-country land, but the lines around his eyes said he was tired of cleaning up after his only son. Warren pushed a thick folder across the polished oak table. Shelby, I need you to do me a favor. Trevor needs something tangible to manage. Events parties, client entertainment, keeps him out of the office where he tends to break things. The Sea Whisper Villa is perfect. 5 acres beachfront private dock yacht already in place. Let him run it as a showcase for the fund's portfolio. I sipped black coffee, letting the silence stretch. You want me to hand over control of my flagship property to your son? Not hand over, Warren corrected quick. Long-term lease, marketing arrangement, title insurance, and all core systems stay with Whitaker Realty Tech. He gets user-level access, plans the gala's books, the chef's docs, the yacht for photo ops. Looks like a heavy hitter, good for the family brand, and frankly keeps him busy. I flipped open the folder, 82 pages of legal boilerplate. Page 72, paragraph 4, subsection C, was the clause I had drafted myself. Owner override protocol. In event of misuse, safety violation, or reputational damage, the legal owner retains immediate total remote control of all navigation, operational, and smart home systems without notice. I tapped the page. This stays in. Full override. I keep root access. He can throw parties. He can't touch the back end. Warren waved a hand dismissive. He doesn't know back end from backgammon. He just wants to blow the horn and pour champagne. It's a deal. We signed. He barely skimmed the last pages, too eager to offload responsibility. I initialed every line, knowing exactly what I was protecting. Trevor signed the same afternoon in a separate office downtown. He didn't read past the cover sheet, just grinned at the glossy renderings of the villa infinity pool and the yacht gleaming in Jarvis Creek. This is mine now, he told the notary loud enough for the whole floor to hear. My resort. My rules. Within 48 hours, the posts started. Instagram stories of him lounging on the villa's teak deck, sunset in the background, caption, "My new Empire Bosch Boss Life." Qas self-made Asar's low country king. Reels of him captaining the yacht through the creek horn blasting like he built the damn thing. Followers ate it up. Comments rolled in fire emojis, private jet plans, weekend invites. None of them knew the villa still answered to me. Warren called me the next week, voice low over the line. He's already booked 3 client events. Keep an eye on him, Shelby. I know he's a handful. He's your son Warren, I said evenly. I'll keep the systems running. The rest is on you. That was the arrangement. Clean on paper. Dangerous in practice. Because Trevor never once logged into the admin portal. Never attended the security briefing. Never asked about the override clause buried on page 72. He saw the keys. He saw the view. He saw his name on the reservation book. He never saw the fine print that said I could lock every door, turn off every light, kill the engines, and watch it all from my phone if he ever crossed the line. And 6 months later, on that humid morning dock, he crossed it without even knowing who he was crossing. That post was the first crack in his illusion. The ghost cams in the villa's control room captured the next piece. Late one evening, the week before the gala, Trevor paced the bridge, the glass-walled command center overlooking Jarvis Creek, phone on speaker. The audio was crystal clear. No music, no guests. Just his footsteps and the low hum of the AC he had cranked to max. Shelby is old tech, he said, voice sharp. Redundant gates, redundant protocols. Who needs that crap when we can flash? We need AI locks, voice recognition, pivot to luxury short-term rentals, project beachfront sell. Slash the safety budget 15%. Cut the override nonsense. Announce the takeover at the gala. Board will love it. New vision. Young energy. A pause. Then Kendra's voice, smooth, confident, came through the speaker. You think they'll buy it, Trevor? They already are, Mom. The 2 new VC guys are in my pocket. They want quick exit, pump the valuation, sell to the highest developer next year. 10 million minimum for the villa alone. That's my cut. Shelby's done. She's legacy. Time to move on. Kendra laughed soft. Just make sure it looks clean. No paper trail back to us. The fund can't be seen pushing her out. No paper trail needed, Kendra. I've got the charts. Fake comparisons. Show her cycle time against app developers say we're too slow. Maritime engineering my ass. We're in real estate now. Speed wins. She'll be toast by dessert. The pacing stopped. He leaned into the console, feet up on the dashboard. I could hear the creak of leather. And Kendra, when this closes, you get your share. New house in Kiowa. No more waiting for Warren's scraps. Good boy, she purred. Just don't screw it up. Your father's watching closer than you think. He snorted. Dad's tired. He wants out. This gala is my stage. I'll stand on that dock, microphone in hand, tell the world Whitaker Realty Tech is entering a new era. No more dinosaur safety obsession. No more Shelby Whitaker holding the keys. The call ended with a click. I sat in my office replaying the audio 3 times. Each listen sharpened the picture. This wasn't just disrespect anymore. This was a calculated move to gut the company I built, strip the safety protocols that kept every property from turning into a liability lawsuit, and flip the villa to developers for a quick $10 million. Project beachfront sell, /15%. Announce takeover at gala, $10 million, minimum. Every word recorded, timestamped, stored in the partition only I could access, legally obtained under the very override clause Warren had signed without reading. I leaned back in my chair, fingers steepled. The game had changed from personal insult to corporate coup, and they were planning to execute it on my own property in front of my own board. The audio kept rolling. Over the next 2 days, the ghost cams kept capturing more. Trevor turned the villa into a floating frat house on land. Cigar ash scattered across the teak deck like gray confetti. High heels gouged deep scratches into the soft wood from women dancing barefoot after midnight. Empty champagne bottles rolled under the lounge chairs. He hosted a pre-gala brunch for potential angel investors, mostly crypto kids in hoodies looking for the next shiny thing. One of them pointed at the smart home control panel on the wall. Slick interface man. Who designed this? Trevor leaned back in the captain's chair, feet up on the console. I supervised the whole UI overhaul, had to step in and streamline everything. We had some legacy engineers, the old guard who wanted to keep it clunky. I modernized it. User journey first. The group nodded, impressed. None of them knew I had written the core code for that panel while he was still figuring out how to tip properly. The next morning, I had to go to the villa for a regulatory fuel delivery sign-off. I wore a blazer this time, crisp navy, trying to look the executive. Trevor intercepted me on the driveway with a new girl brunette holding a small dog. He was in yesterday's khakis, hair still wet from the shower. "Hey you!" he shouted. I stopped. "Hello, Trevor. Did you restock the bar I told you specifically? I needed the Japanese whiskey." "I'm not the provisioner, Trevor. I'm here for the fuel manifest." He rolled his eyes, turned to the brunette. "See what I mean? Impossible to get good help. You give them a job, and they give you excuses." He thrust a crumpled napkin from his pocket at me. "Just wipe the red wine stain in the salon. It's sticky." I took the napkin. I actually took it. Felt like holding evidence. "I'll see to it," my voice level almost robotic. I walked past him into the villa. The salon smelled of spilled Cabernet and stale cigar. Wine had soaked into the cream carpet in a dark bloom. I didn't clean it. I took 3 clear photos. Then I photographed the empty whiskey bottles scattered on the coffee table. Then the confidential company documents he had left open on the sofa, Q3 projections, revenue forecasts, dev offers, all exposed for anyone to snap. Security violation highest order, grounds for immediate access revocation under corporate bylaws, and the lease terms he never read. I pocketed the phone and turned to leave. Leonard Fisk, one of the original investors who had known me for 15 years, stood in the doorway. He had seen the whole exchange. He looked at the napkin in my hand, then at the chaotic salon, then at me. "Shelby," he said softly, "I apologize for the atmosphere." "Trevor's spirited." "He's certainly that," I replied. "Are you letting this happen?" His eyes were shrewd. He knew I didn't tolerate incompetence. I smiled, small, dangerous. "I'm just letting the data accumulate, Leonard. I believe in a large sample size before making a decision." He nodded slowly. "I see. Well, I'll make sure to wear a life jacket to the gala tomorrow. You do that. And maybe stay near the driveway." I walked out, tossing the napkin into the trash bin on the driveway. The bin was labeled refuse. Fitting. The next morning, the gala prep began. Alyssa walked into my office at 7 sharp, clutching her tablet like a shield. She was my junior advisor, sharp, loyal, and completely invisible to men like Trevor. "It's worse than we thought, Shelby," she said, voice low. "He's circulating a memo to the entire board, calling it Project Renewal. He's claiming your safety protocols and redundancy systems are costing us 15% in margins. He has charts, fake charts, comparing our development cycle to app startups, saying we're too slow, too cautious. He's lined up votes. The 2 new VC partners are with him. They want a quick flip. Pump the stock, slash the QA budget, sell the portfolio next year." I stared out the window at the gray dawn over the marsh. And the kicker, he plans to announce the leadership transition at the gala. On the villa dock in front of the press, the investors, the whole crowd. "He's using the failure to scale clause in your contract to trigger it. Legal term. Clean way to push you out." I turned back to her. "Does he know you're here?" "No. He thinks I'm ordering catering for the party. Flowers, champagne, lobster, the works." "Good. Keep ordering. Give him everything he wants. Give him miles of rope." Alyssa's eyes widened slightly, then she nodded. "Understood." "What are you going to do?" I sat down at my desk, pulled up the villa's system architecture. "I'm going to let the system function exactly as designed. If an unauthorized operator tries to hijack the asset protects itself. That's not sabotage. That's a feature. She left quietly. I spent the rest of the morning finalizing the patch, a conditional loop buried in the demo mode file. If user equals Trevor and location equals villa coordinates, then execute full remote safe mode. Lights out, doors locked, yacht engine dead. All systems frozen until owner reset. I uploaded it via satellite link. The green bar loaded to 100%. Update complete. Logged as critical security compliance patch. If anyone bothered to read the change log, they would see it. No one ever did. By late morning, the villa was buzzing. Caterers hauled crates of lobster and cases of champagne. Florists arranged white orchids that cost more than most people's monthly rent. A banner stretched across the main deck, Whitaker Realty Tech. The future is now. Workers strung fairy lights along the dock. The yacht bobbed gently in Jarvis Creek, polished and ready for its photo op. Trevor strutted around in a captain's hat, actual white with gold braid, no irony directing the portable stage placement. I drove up in my Tacoma, parked at the far end of the drive, and walked to the edge of the property line. I didn't cross it. I just watched. He spotted me from the bow, jogged over flushed and manic. Shelby, just the person I didn't want to see. He laughed, slapped my shoulder like we were old buddies. Look, tomorrow is going to be huge. Huge. And don't worry, I'll mention you in the speech. Thanks to the legacy team for laying the foundation, something like that. That's very generous of you, Trevor. Yeah. Well, generous guy. Hey, for the event tomorrow, maybe you should just enjoy it from the shore. We're at capacity with the VIPs, and honestly, having the technical staff looming around kind of kills the vibe. You get it right. Too technical. Might bore people. I get it. Back-end stuff. Exactly. You're a genius, really. But tomorrow, we need front-end energy. Take the day off. Go to a spa or something. Treat yourself on the company card. He winked, turned back to the caterers shouting about a dropped tray. I stood there watching the water lap against the yacht hull. Sea Whisper Villa gleamed under the morning sun, a sleeping giant. By noon, the dock was packed. The sun was high and the air thick with salt and anticipation. Trevor stood on the portable stage microphone in one hand, scotch in the other, face flushed with the thrill of his own spotlight. Welcome, everyone, he boomed, voice echoing off the water. Welcome to the future of Whitaker Realty Tech. Applause rippled through the crowd. The two new VC partners clapped loudest, nodding like they had rehearsed it. For years, this company has been solid, he continued, pacing. Solid is the enemy of spectacular. We've been too safe, too slow, too focused on what could go wrong instead of what can go right. A few engineers in the back shifted uncomfortably. They knew focusing on what could go wrong was the entire job when you built smart properties that had to survive hurricanes and lawsuits. Today, he shouted, we launch a new era. No more red tape. No more hesitation. We are untethering from the past. He pointed dramatically toward the horizon. In a few minutes, we take this beauty out for a spin. We show you speed. We show you agility. We show you who's really in charge. The crowd cheered. He was high on his own momentum. His eyes swept the back of the crowd and landed on me. I was standing near the stack of speakers in black jeans and turtleneck partially obscured. For a second, his smile faltered. He covered the mic with his hand, hissed at a nearby assistant. I thought I told her to leave. Get security. I didn't move. I just watched him like a scientist watching a lab rat run straight into the trap. Security started toward me. Trevor drew the crowd back. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get this party started. Crew prepare to cast off. He looked at me one last time, smirk returning. Time to leave, sweetheart. The show is sailing. I stepped back onto the gangway, moving slow, deliberate. The guard hesitated, seeing me leave voluntarily. Trevor laughed over the PA. Don't wait up. The crew untied the lines. Thick ropes splashed into the creek. The yacht drifted free. Engines revved, white water churned at the stern. Music pumped thumping bass. The gap widened 5 feet 10, 20, 50 yards. I stood on the dock alone. The yacht turned slowly toward the channel exit. Press photographers snapped the money shot, young heir steering the future. I pulled the small black fob from my pocket. It looked like a garage opener. It felt like justice. The yacht was now 50 yards out, momentum carrying it forward. Trevor was at the helm, spinning the wheel for show, though the thrusters did the real work. He blasted the air horn 3 short bursts, illegal in the creek, unless in distress, but rules were for other people. Guests clinked glasses. Music switched to something upbeat. The irony was perfect. I checked the distance. Just far enough they couldn't throw a rope back. Close enough the entire dock could see. I pressed the button. Held it for a full second, feeling the click. Instantly, dead silence. The engines cut out. The churning water flattened. Music died mid-note. Lights went black. Radar stopped spinning. Glass doors froze halfway. The yacht became a 40-foot cork drifting sideways toward the mudbank in the creek. On the bridge, Trevor lurched forward as momentum shifted. He slammed the throttles. Nothing. Pulled them back. Nothing. He banged on the dashboard. The music had stopped, so his confusion carried across the water. What the hell? Hey, why did everything stop? Get the generator online. The yacht listed slightly to port as stabilizers locked neutral. Guests looked around, confused. Is this part of the show? Someone shouted. Panic set in slow at first. AC shut down, midday heat flooded the cabins. Toilets wouldn't flush, vacuum pumps dead. Champagne fridges warmed. Trevor ran out to the rail, wild-eyed. He pulled out his phone, dialed. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Incoming call, Trevor. I let it ring. He dialed again. Let it ring. He shook the phone, scanned the crowd on shore, and then he saw me. I hadn't moved. I was the only one not taking photos. He pointed. You. The shout barely carried, but I read his lips. I raised my hand, held up the black fob. His face froze. Recognition hit like a slap. I tapped my earpiece, dialed the harbor master's public frequency, blasting over the marina speakers for the event. Harbor Control, this is Shelby Whitaker, owner of the vessel and property, Sea Whisper. Declaring a navigation hazard in Jarvis Creek, Sector 4. The vessel has been remotely disabled due to unauthorized operation by unqualified personnel. Requesting tow for retrieval. Copy, Miss Whitaker. Tugs dispatched. The announcement boomed across the water. Everyone heard it. The press heard it. The investors on the yacht heard it. Unauthorized operation. Unqualified personnel. Trevor slumped against the railing. He looked small. Reporters turned their cameras from the drifting yacht to me. I walked to the podium, the microphone still live from Trevor's abandoned speech. Feedback whined for a second, then cleared. Ladies and gentlemen, I began, my voice steady, magnified across the harbor. I apologize for the interruption to your afternoon. 100 lenses focused on the woman in black. There has been some confusion regarding the leadership and direction of Whitaker Realty Tech. Today was billed as a launch of a new era, and in a way, it is. I pulled out my tablet, connected it to the large screen behind me. The ghost cam videos played Trevor spilling mimosa on the leather, cigar ash on the teak heels gouging the deck. Confidential Q3 projections left open on the sofa. The audio of him calling me old tech. The memo circulating to the board with fake charts. The call to Kendra about Project Beachfront sell /15% sell for $10 million announced takeover at Gala. The crowd gasped. It was brutal. It was undeniable. Smart property management is not a game. I continued, voice hardening. The Low Country does not care about your Instagram following or your quick flips. It cares about competence. When you remove competence from the equation, you get that. I gestured to the yacht now being towed by a rusty tug back to the dock, a monument to failure. I designed this villa. I own this villa. And today, I demonstrated a security feature called the Owner Override Protocol. If the system detects an operator who poses a risk to the asset or the company, it shuts down. Today, the protocol worked perfectly. I looked directly into the news cameras. To the board of directors currently sweating on that deck, you have a choice. You can back the visionary who forgot to check his access level, or you can back the engineer who holds the keys. I held up the black fob one last time. I'll be in my office. We have work to do. I dropped the mic. It hit the podium with a satisfying thud. I walked away. I didn't look back at the yacht. I didn't look at Trevor. By 6 p.m., Warren called me, voice icy. You humiliated the family. Your son humiliated the family, I corrected. I protected the asset. He's my son. Whitaker is my company. If you want to keep your stake, Warren Trevor is out. Effective immediately, and you resign as trustee. Long silence. Then a sigh. Send over the papers. Within 48 hours, the probate court in Beaufort revoked Trevor's trust. The documents were airtight. Warren had signed them years ago when he still thought his son might grow up. The clause was simple: gross misconduct or reputational damage to the family fund triggers immediate disinheritance. Trevor's actions qualified on every count. Security escorted him off the villa grounds, the same guard who had let me slip aboard. He left through the service gate soaked in sweat, reputation in tatters. His cars were repossessed within the week. His allowance cut to zero. He filed Chapter 7 bankruptcy in Charleston 2 months later. The cheap apartment in Beaufort had peeling paint and no view. His crypto podcast never made it past 12 subscribers. Kendra filed for divorce from Warren the following week. She took half the liquid assets and walked. No tears, no regrets. Jordan, the quiet daughter who had fed me the confidential files, inherited her share of the Pritchard Trust. She kept it quiet. She kept it clean. I'm back at the helm. Sea Whisper Villa is undergoing a deep clean. The stains of mediocrity take time to remove, but the systems are secure. The course is set. Some lessons only land after the lights go out and the engines go dead. This one was worth the wait. Entitlement has no place in a legacy.